I'm going to talk about the 3 most misunderstood hormones. If you have been asking yourself, what are the commonest hormones that tend to disturb a lot? In this video, I'm going to talk about these 3 hormones. Mweno video, ngenda kwogera ku hormones esatu ezikyasinze okubanga zikyankalanya abagezaako okubanga bafuna embuto, of which hormones zino ngenda kuba zinyonyola obulungi. Obanga obadde olina ebibuuzo byonna ojja kuba obiteekayo mu comments, nja kuba nkuddamu. So the first hormone is known as progesterone. The next hormone is known as estrogen, and then the third hormone is known as the luteinizing hormone. Progesterone, estrogen, and luteinizing hormone. I said that these 3 hormones tend to disturb a lot because there are very many misconceptions about these 3 hormones, as you are going to see later on in the video. Ndikogera ku hormones nesatu nengamba nti zitera nnyo okubanga zikyankalanya oba zitera nnyo okubanga zitawanya abagezaako okubanga bagala okufuna olubuto, okuba zirina engeri gye zeeyolesaamu ng'ate nolowooza nti maybe eno hormone yeekoze bweti ate ng'ate ebe etegeeza ekirala oba wabeerawo ekirala ekiba kitakinga place. So progesterone hormone. Progesterone hormone is a hormone that is actually released in the second 2 weeks after you have undergone your ovulation. Remember, ovulation is the release of that mature egg. So after ovulation, immediately after ovulation, the next 2 weeks, okay? After ovulation, the next 2 weeks, that time, the following 2 weeks, that is actually what we call the luteal phase. In those 2 weeks, normally, if pregnancy has happened, progesterone is going to be released, okay? And when progesterone hormone has been released, specifically, its main role is to support the pregnancy. Its main role is to support the pregnancy so that it can proceed very well. After ovulation and after fertilization taking place, and then progesterone lowers or the levels of progesterone drop, then this could actually interfere with the whole process of implantation. It could actually lead to a miscarriage. So most women tend to get miscarriages early on in their pregnancy just because they have issues with their progesterone. But then nkogera ku hormone ensoose gye bayise progesterone nengamba nti ebiseera ebisinga hormone eno gye bayise progesterone specifically ebeera released oba eyiika nnyo mu mubiri gw'omukyala wabanga badde yakamaliriza ovulation. Katugeze omukyala ovulatinze leero, weeks 2 ezigenda okuddako, omubiri gw'omukyala omuli ekisosonkole ekyegi kye bayise the corpus luteum cyst, okay? Oba the corpus luteum kigenda kuba kifulumya hormone eno gye bayise progesterone. Omwana wajja ne yeekwata ku kisenge ky'abaana n'atandika okukula, omwana kennyini naye ajja kuba atandika okuba nga afulumya hormone eno gye bayise progesterone hormone. So what are the misconceptions about progesterone? Specifically, a woman could actually do the pregnancy test, and then the pregnancy test is positive, and then she could actually think that progesterone is already within the normal ranges. A woman could get pregnant, but because of low progesterone levels, a woman could get complications. So it is a hormone that needs to be taken note of. If you have been asking yourself, is progesterone really important? It is very important because immediately after confirming that you are pregnant, it is very, very important to maintain your progesterone hormonal levels in case you are having issues with your progesterone hormonal levels. How can you know that you could be having issues with your progesterone hormonal levels? Normally, a blood test can be done in a hospital by your doctor, and then the results will actually show the levels of your progesterone hormonal levels. If the results show that you are pregnant, but your progesterone is very low, then support will actually be given. Your progesterone support or supplementation will be done, and then of course by the grace of God you'll be able to carry your pregnancy to term. So the first hormone is progesterone. It's very important to know about progesterone because if you do not know anything about progesterone, you can get pregnancies end in miscarriages, and yet you are having issues with progesterone hormone. Bane ndikogera ku hormone ensoose gye bayise progesterone hormone nengamba nti ebiseera ebisinga hormone eno abantu abasinga abakyala abasinga tebagitwalanga okuba hormone ey'enkizo ennyo naye ng'ate hormone eno ya nkizo nnyo eri very important ku lugendo olwa fertility ng'omukyala. Oyinza okufuna olubuto, test ey'olubuto, okay, the HCG test neraga nti wafunye olubuto mwerule, naye ate buli n'otandika ate okubulidinga okwo oba okuvamu omusaayi nga badde wakafuna olubuto, kye tuyise bleeding in early pregnancy, kiyinza okuba nga kiri kuviira ddala kuba nti hormone eno gye bayise progesterone eyinza okuba nga ntono. Omanya otya nti hormone eno gye bayise progesterone ntono nnyo? Oba olina ogenda mu ddwaliro and then of course ne bakola test eya progesterone gye tuyise the serum progesterone hormonal test okulaba hormone eno eri etya. Singa kizuulibwa nti kituufu oli lubuto naye hormone eno gye bayise progesterone eri wansi, then doctor wo asobola okuba nga ate agiboostinga, of course ng'akuteeka ku treatment. So I've talked about progesterone and I believe by now you know something about progesterone. The next hormone that is actually commonly misunderstood or commonly not really taken really so seriously is this hormone known as estrogen hormone. Now, we know very well that when another hormone known as FSH comes to a woman's ovarian system, ovarian tissue, and then the eggs are growing, there's going to be a hormone known as estrogen that is actually going to be released. When FSH acts on your eggs, then estrogen is going to be released in the background. The main role of estrogen is actually to maintain bone health, okay? The health of your bones. It plays a very big part in maintaining the health of your bones. Estrogen also helps in regulating your periods. So if you are having issues with your periods, you see your periods this month, next month you miss your periods, the next month you see your periods, irregular periods, it could actually be connected with estrogen hormonal levels, but it could also be due to other causes. But I'm talking about estrogen, and I'm saying that first, it is very important in maintaining your bone health, your bone density. If you are having issues with your bones, you are having conditions like osteoporosis, very light bones, very low calcium levels, it could actually be connected with your estrogen. And then if you are having issues with irregular periods, your periods are not regular, it could actually also be connected with your estrogen hormonal levels. And then also, estrogen is very important because it is the hormone that actually starts off what we call puberty. It's the hormone that actually starts off those changes. We call them the pubertal changes. So, bade tukogera hormone gye bayise estrogen, nengamba nti estrogen hormone eno ya nkizo nnyo. Omukyala ayinza okuba nga alowooza hormone eno teri very important. Omusajja ayinza okuba nga alowooza nti estrogen hormone si nnungi oba teri very important, naye ng'ate ya nkizo nnyo ku lugendo olwa fertility gwe ng'omukyala, naawe ng'omwami ng'ogezaako okuba nga at least mufuna essanyu ery'ezzadde. Estrogen hormone eyambako ennyo okulaba nti periods ez'omukyala zitambula bulungi, regular periods, okay? Then estrogen hormone eyambako n'okuba nga amagumba gaba magumu bulungi, bone health, okay, oba bone density eyambako kinene nnyo. Kiba kitegeeza nti estrogen webanga ntono, ne kiba kitegeeza omuntu oyo asobola okuba nga afuna obulwadde bw'amagumba, buli kiseera amagumba gamulumirira, buli kiseera awulira talina maanyi, buli kiseera yeekoonako katono bw'ati eggumba limenyeka. Ebiseera ebisinga kiyinza okuba nga kiva ku insufficient oba estrogen hormone webanga ntono nnyo. Ekirala kiyinza okuba nga ekirala ky'olina okumanya ku hormone gye bayise estrogen eyambako ennyo periods ez'omukyala okuba nga zitambula bulungi, okay? So I hope you know something about estrogen now, okay? I've talked about regular periods, it maintains your periods, bone health, and then of course it also kick-starts your pubertal changes. Your hormone etandika stage gye tuyise eya puberty. The next hormone is known as luteinizing hormone, LH hormone. Now, we all know LH hormone. LH hormone is a hormone that is actually very important because when it begins to rise in a woman's system, then it means that she's entering her ovulation. LH hormone, luteinizing hormone, starts off the whole process of ovulation. And remember, ovulation is the release of a mature egg. Specifically, depending on the length of your cycle, it could actually happen on the 14th day, or it could actually happen on the 7th day for women who have shorter menstrual cycles. So LH hormone is very important because it starts off the whole process of ovulation. When fertilization takes place, the levels of LH, they remain actually high, but later on they tend to go down, but normally they remain high immediately after ovulation. Now, if you are in your ovulation time, okay, you are ovulating, but your LH hormone, maybe you've used the ovulation predictor kits, they are showing that your LH is low. It could actually mean that you are having issues with your ovulation, okay? So, what is the way forward with luteinizing hormone? One thing you have to know about luteinizing hormone is that when you do the LH test, using maybe the home predictor kits, the ones that actually test for LH, when you do the test, okay, the LH hormonal test, using the strips or using the blood test, and then the results show that your LH is high, immediately after ovulation, that is very okay. But you have finished ovulation, you are maybe, you've even seen your periods, but still your LH is high. It could actually signal that there's something that is not right. It could actually be a sign of a condition known as PCOS, polycystic ovarian syndrome. If you have done the ovulation predictor kit test, you've done the LH test, and it is showing that your LH is persistently high, it could be an indication of a condition known as PCOS, polycystic ovarian syndrome. Why? Because in PCOS, normally there's persistent LH. Why? Because the ovarian tissue in PCOS, it has very small follicles, okay? It has very small follicles, small cysts. And these cysts are very many, maybe they are even beyond 10. Now, because there are very many follicles, there's going to be lots of LH hormone that is going to be produced. So if you are having persistent LH hormone, it could be a sign of PCOS, or it could actually be a sign that something is not right. Ndikogera ku LH hormone, jetuyise luteinizing hormone, nengamba nti hormone eno jetuyise luteinizing hormone nungi nnyo kuba eyambako system oba eyambako process ya ovulation okubanga itakinga place bulungi. Singa okola test eya ovulation oba singa okola test eya LH ng'okozesa buno bwe bayise bu ovulation predictor kits, naye ne bulaga nti hormone eya LH eri very high, eri persistently high, omaliriza ovulation naye ekyali waggulu, onatera okulaba period zo ekyali waggulu, oli mu period zo LH hormone eri waggulu, kiyinza okuba nga kiraga nti wandibanga olina ekirwadde ekya PCOS, polycystic ovarian syndrome. Kiba kitegeeza nti ekisawo eky'amagi kye tuyise the ovarian tissue kibeeramu obugi obutono ennyo obutasobola kubanga bukula, obutasobola kubanga bugeja, obutasobola kubanga bufuuka omwana. Omukyala alina PCOS, jjukira asobola okufuna olubuto kasita abanga aba afunye obujjanjabi, naye ebiseera ebisinga afuna obuzibu okufuna olubuto. Difficulty getting pregnant. Women with PCOS can get pregnant, okay? But normally it is very, very advisable that if you have been told that you have PCOS, it's very advisable that you get proper medical care, proper medical support after proper investigations, after proper tests. But remember, women with PCOS can get pregnant. There are very many women with PCOS who have got pregnant, okay? I will talk more about PCOS in the next video. If you have questions about PCOS, feel free to drop them in the comments. I'll be able to answer all your questions. I'm called Gerard Massa and I'm a fertility coach. I'm a fertility hormone interpreter. I can answer your questions about fertility. Drop your questions in the comments and then I'll be able to answer your questions. You can also message me on WhatsApp and then we shall be able to talk more about your fertility journey. I can guide you on your fertility journey. I can help interpret your hormones. I can guide you on the next steps you need to take. So if you would like to have a one-on-one session with me, a one-on-one fertility coaching session with me, interpret your labs and then of course simplify your fertility journey, you can always message me on WhatsApp. I'll be able to guide you to offer what we call fertility coaching at only $10. So if you would like to talk to me, send me a message on these numbers and then I'll be able to answer all your questions, guide you on your fertility journey. Obanga obadde oyagala kubanga oneebuuzaako, osobola okuweereza ebibuuzo mu comment, osobola okuweereza ebibuuzo ku WhatsApp, nja kuba nkuddamu, era coaching oba consultation fee yange ya only $10, dollars 10 zokka, tusobola okubanga ate twogera and then of course nemba nga nkuguidinga ku steps ki zoweetaaga okubanga ofollowinga oba obanga wandyetaaze kye tuyise fertility coaching. Kankulabe mu video eddako, beera bulungi, omukama akuume, bye bye. Let me see you in the next video. Have yourself a fantastic day. God bless and bye bye.